Welcome in here, everybody. Murder Church on a Tuesday night. Thank you very much, Jay, the man, sending over a bunch of folks. Love to see it. Love to see everybody in the chat. Thank you very much. Please hit the old like. Helps us out here at Publicly Buzzed. I just sent a tweet out, an X out. Please retweet that as well. That help me out. Appreciate it. And yeah, coming at you with episode 31 of the Phil Spector Hollywood murder trial. It's been a wild one so far. We got Detective Mark Lilienfeld, part 6 of his testimony coming at you right now.
Let's rock.
Yo, everybody, what's going on? Murder Church is on the air. Let me see if this is working. Let's see if I got this in here correctly. Let's see. There we go. There we go. Boom. Down here. Started just a teensy bit early. I saw Jason, a bunch of folks over here. Thank you, dude. Appreciate that, brother. Yeah. We're going to be hanging out here for about 2 hours or so. I know this first video is about 20 minutes, so we're really just going to fill it out by the way this flows here tonight per the usual. A couple of things I'm going to plug real quick. If anybody is not in the if anybody's not on the Patreon, please get on there, because I just now tonight dropped something that came through Kick. There's the link in the chat, but a couple of weeks ago, about 3 weeks ago, we had Chris do it on, and we talked about Dirty Lou. We watched this insane fucking movie that this dude made. There's an insane, I think it's called Dirty Pop. It's on Netflix. It's a documentary multi-part series. Yeah, about this dude that managed the Backstreet Boys, NSYNC, all these different bands. And he is an absolute scuzz sleazeball, and Chris Dewitt had the deets on him. That is no longer available on Kick. The only way you're going to see that is through Patreon, and I do that quite often on Kick. And yeah, thanks everybody for being here. Appreciate it. Hope everybody's good tonight. Had a good church on Sunday, and I see it's carried over to Tuesday night as well. The will is in play here tonight. We had a couple of winners, I believe, on Sunday, actually. Had a great Sunday service, if you will. And let me go ahead and get the bells out of the way. Let me make sure those are working. Make sure the sound effects are on here. We'll get these bells pumping. Can we get this really started, huh? Getting this party really started. It's not working. I'm glad I checked. Hold on. Give me 1 second here. Boom, boom, boom. Hold on. Looks like something's restarted. Open up the stream. There she is. The stream deck or whatever. Boom, 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 boom. And now, baby. Now we're going to get some bells going, huh? But the will is in play. Kelly Hill is on this will twice already, so we got 2 names on here. And yeah, the way you get on the will is whether you want to donate in the chat, whether you're gifting out memberships, or coming through the Cash App, through the Venmo, through the PayPal. Any of that will get you on the will. All of that is, I believe, pinned in the chat. And yeah, we're about to rock and roll. Again, we're getting into part 6 of Detective Mark Lilienfeld before we move on to, I'm not sure who comes on after this, but we got 20 minutes left of at least in part 6. So yeah, who is in here for sure tonight? Jersey Jen, Pammy, and you know who's not here? Freaking Botrix. Yeah, of course, didn't wake up for us here tonight. Botrix really pissing me off. It randomly just popped on Feral Friday. My eye does look a lot better also. Like, it's, I don't want to say anything to jinx it, but 2 days ago, no, yesterday was Monday. Yesterday, I believe, was the first full, I've had good days. Some days it's, it feels a little bit iffy, but yesterday was the first full day of feeling pretty good. Knocking on wood, do that at home. Holly Berry, is she popping through the door? Yes, she is. Who else in here? Laura, Publicly Buzzed. I sent my 15-month membership message at the very end of Feral Friday on YouTube. I was trying to get on the will. Oh, shit, damn. I missed that. Damn, Laura. Or did I miss it? Charlotte coming through here. Semi-sharp in the house. Joanne. There she is. Kelly Hill on the new will twice already. Shiraz, what's up? Hanging and banging. Dizzy, hardest working mod in true crime. I'll fight anybody. Shelly's in the house. I love how Steve says boom when he clicks. That's what gets me there. If I don't hit the boom, I forget about it.
I'm telling you like it is, baby.
Got the bells out of the way, Pammy. Yes, indeed. I see Bassett Page hanging out. Rachel C. Lots of beautiful people here tonight. Hell yeah. Oh, boom. Got Sarah hanging out, also lurking. Thank you very much. Putting a baby to bed. Oh, I get you. And it's looking much better. Much better. We're coming around. Joanne's showing off a little bit here tonight. 13 months. Yay, Pasta Steve. That's freaking awesome. 1 month over a year. That's insanity. Hell yes. That's cool. Young black economist coming through here, pouring himself a drink as soon as they come through the door. That's what I like to see. The diagnosis was, essentially herpes in my eye. And a few years ago, I had shingles on my shoulder. And the medicine that I got for my eye this time was I forget the name of the pill, but it's whatever pills that you would get. It's a fuck ton of them. You take like 5 pills a day for shingles. So it had that had those pills again, but then I had 3 separate drops. One is a drop that they use for pressure. There was like maybe that was the same thing, a glaucoma drop. It might be the same thing as pressure. And then there was one that is a steroid, which I'm still weaning myself off of now. But when I was actually, talking to my eye doctor and really saying, what is this? What is going on? Is this shingles? She didn't definitively say that. She said that that's basically what they're treating me for, and it has helped. And when I first got there, the pressure in my left eye was like 31. Normal's like, high normal's like 21. So it was pretty. I was basically working on going freaking blind. Is what I was doing, which is kind of crazy and scary to think about. But if anything happens to my eye, and I would say this to anybody out there also, go get that shit checked out. Like, I waited. What scared me and freaked me out, and the reason I had a lot of, pretty real moments with the doctor. I'm a paranoid person. Anyways, as you guys know, if anybody follows me, how freaked out the world makes me. But I was like, if you read online about getting shingles in your eye. One thing about it though, and this isn't always true, and I'm going all over the place right now, but a lot of people get the shingle bumps also around the eye and even inside the eye and under the eyelid. I didn't get that, luckily, knock on wood. But I basically had a rash on my eye is what it was seeming like. I don't know. I would tell anybody to go and get your shit checked out, but the reason I was so freaked out is because I waited 21 days, I believe, 3 weeks before I actually went to an eye doctor. I went to my real doctor who thought it was an infection. She started treating it for an infection, never got better. I waited another week thinking the possibility of pink eye. Maybe this is just in you. If you look up pink eye, it says it can last for a month, the discoloration, but then it actually started hurting. And that's when I was like, man, I need to go get this checked out. And again, I'm glad I did. And anybody that looks even deeper and wants to freak yourself out even further, if you do not get something like that treated, it leads to something, I don't remember the medical term, but essentially it can get into your fucking brain and your brain swells. And they have to put like a shunt in your eyeball to release the pressure at that point. And you have to have some surgery shit. And it doesn't sound fun at all. So that was what I was really fucking freaked out about and doing a lot of weird Google searches about. I'm just saying, Google's not your friend all the time. Right there, my granny lost her vision due to shingles in her eye. There's a lot of crazy horror stories. Beto making it through tonight. What's going on? Love to see it. So I'm going to make sure I get my shit checked out. Thanks for here tonight with me, my friends. It's scary. But, hopefully everything's going good. Looking on the up and up, looking better. And yeah, it was a fucking scary situation. But, yeah. All right, let's rock and roll. First video here, 19 minutes. Let me get the sound going here. There we go. There's old fuckface. He's here. Phil Spector has arrived. Boom, boom. And then, of course, Larry Fiddler, who's our man, huh? Judge Diehard.
Yippee-ki-yay, motherfucker.
That's in the business.
These are present, the jurors and the alternates.
Whoa, there it is. Oh, man, Botrix decided to appear here. Whoa. Now, okay, it was probably there. I think it was there, and I didn't even notice when I was telling that story. Nice! Botrix decided to come to the party. Let's go, Botrix. Hell yeah.
As the court well knows, in anticipation of one of the potential government witnesses this afternoon, Ms. Sarah Kaplan, she is here along with her...
A little bit of Patreon pushing worked out there. Yeah, Krissa welcome the fuck in there to Patreon. And I'm pretty sure, yes, Chrissa, hold on. Chrissa, you won the wheel last Friday. I'm not sure if you're aware of that. And Chrissy, I'm not sure if you're chatting either, but, you know, obviously you heard my pitch for Patreon and coming into the Patreon. Hell, fuck yeah, first of all. But you did win a shirt last Friday, and you had became a member before that stream even started, and your name got on that wheel. Congratulations. I just want to let you know, and I was going to, you know, hopefully be able to, you're a new person around here. So the congratulations and welcome into the Discord. Love
Counsel, Mr. Michael Nassatir, Nassatir.
Cool. And I'm sorry, I keep pausing already out the gate. And I don't even see her here yet, Miss Steen, and I'm probably going to show her more love when she does come through here. She made an absolute amazing purchase this week through PubliclyBuzzed.com, purchased a bunch of merch. So fucking cool, man. Like, Miss Tina is a real one out there. Like, everybody in this chat is real ones, but that touched. Like, I was like, what is happening, man? You people are crazy. Like,
I think we all know what this.
No, that was cool, man.
What the subject matter is about, and it's the defense position, Your Honor, that first of all, we intend to assert the privilege on behalf of Mr. Spector because, as the court
Taryn Dusty, thank you for that purchase. Just came through and got a shirt.
At one time that did
you guys are
exist,
amazing.
and may, in fact, even continue and carry on. Secondly,
best merchant true crowd
that Ms. Kaplan herself intends to also assert the privilege since she's not the holder of it, Mr. Spector is. And it is further my understanding that she feels, based on the fact of her legal and her ethical obligations as a member of the bar of the state of California, that she cannot be put in a position where she is to testify in this proceedings before the jury regarding these incidents. She also has indicated to me that she feels that it is a direct
Charlotte from the
interference
future, I'm so glad that
with
you're
the
chilling
relationship
tonight.
between Mr. Spector and herself. I'm also authorized to inform the court that she has made it clear that she does not intend.
Vinny Bitchy coming through here. Steve-O, forgive me, but every time you say will, I hear will. And I think I'm saying the same word when I even say it. Spin the wheel. What wheel? I think that's the same word in my head even. And thought it was clever murder church lingo until corrected.
To testify. Now, of course,
get on the, if you will.
Presents,
get on my wheel, if you will.
And
wheel.
Rather than just spring it on the court before the jury at that time, we've tried to do it here.
I need to hear somebody else say this word, these words now. I feel like I am literally saying the same word.
Ms. lawyer is here, Your Honor. If the court wishes to inquire of him, he's waiting outside in the anteroom with Ms. Kaplan, and he may want to elaborate further on this, or he may have questions that the court may want to pose to him that he can answer. But I can tell you it's my understanding that she believes, based on her ethical and legal obligations, her relationship with Mr. Spector, and the fact of the privilege, she does not intend to testify in these proceedings, which potentially could lead us
That's awesome.
down an ugly path.
Try to make cooler
shirts.
shirts.
With the court at this time, out of the presence, to give the court a heads up, so that the court can
wear
give
these
us
shirts
some
around
directions to
town
where it wants to go in terms of where we're going to be this afternoon on this, because I think we are going to get to this afternoon. My belief is that we're almost completed our examination of Detective.
There we go. That's what I want to say. Chrissa. I'm pretty sure it's Chrissa. Yes, Chrissa, you won a shirt on Friday, so you're on my list. You know, once I get to you, I will be reaching out for more information. But in the meantime, get with me. PubliclyBuzzed@gmail.com. Go to PubliclyBuzzed.com. I'll go ahead and get this in the chat here. Go to PubliclyBuzzed.com. Pick out a T-shirt and let me know what you want. Let me know what size in that email, and then let me know where to send it, of course. And yeah, congratulations.
And I think we're going to move into Stan White and into.
And right now on the wheel, we are 2 in. Kelly Hill has 2 spots currently. So yeah, wheel is wide open.
Happened very rapidly. So I just want the record to be clear that Mr. Spector objects to this. He asserts the privilege, and I've already laid out previously the potential witnesses' position on this. And as I've indicated, if the court wishes to hear from Mr. Nassatir, he's right outside and ready to go.
Thank you.
I was only going to suggest that if we're going to get to this issue, we wait until this witness has completed his testimony. and then we address this?
Which would have been the appropriate thing to do with the jury waiting, is to finish with this witness, and before that witness is called, is then to ask
got it,
for
Joanne.
presence rather
Joanne
than
on the
delay
wheel with the $5 holla.
We've just delayed them.
Get in there. Get in there.
We want to have this resolved.
Is it your lucky night?
Before they call Stan White, because if they're going to call Stan White, then we have another position that it's going to be a cumulative testimony, and she should not have to testify anyway. That's why I brought it up.
That's a different issue. We'll get to that issue when we get to it.
And Your Honor,
Thank you.
I would agree that our side, from the prosecution standpoint, we would like to resolve this issue before Stan White's called.
I can resolve it whenever you're ready to resolve it, but right now, we're on the jury's time.
Thank you.
Thank you. Let's proceed.
Oh, Halloween merch. I got to get working on that, actually. I've got ideas, but I need to start
Jurors and
executing.
the alternates have returned. You may proceed.
Thank you.
Executing. Nothing gets done. You just sit around.
Okay.
Yes, sir.
All right. I want to finish up on this Pena issue. The coroner's folks showed up around 5:30, 5:40 on the afternoon of the 3rd. Is that right?
Uh-oh.
Yes, sir.
Uh-oh. We got a quiz question to get on this wheel right now. $5. First of all, thank you, Jay. Appreciate it, brother. But whoever answers this question first on the wheel, how did Steve and I meet? Who knows that?
You guys were
Let's see.
still
I'm going to be
doing
looking in
your
the chat
scene
here.
examination, and you asked them to leave and come back, and they came back an hour and a half later, right?
Yes, sir.
So they were on scene approximately 7 o'clock that evening. Is that right?
Yes.
Okay. Now, by the time they had begun,
Oh, yep.
had you guys marked
Semi
the
Sharp
evidence
pulled her
items? Had
out.
you placed your little tags down by then?
Gotcha, Simi.
Yes, sir.
All right,
Thank you,
so
Jay. Appreciate it,
There's
dude.
no point to point out a piece of evidence that had already been identified and tagged by them, correct?
Oh, shit. Rocking and rolling right now. Hold on. I dropped my phone here for just a second, but yeah, it's been a long trucking time. Trucking down the road, me and Jay, man. Jay's been the man this entire time also, man. Jay is one of the coolest people I've ever fucking met in my life, and I love Jay a lot, man. Sarah, aspiring court reporter, $4.99. Put me on the wheel for feel. Spectre, please. Yeah, I feel like in my head I'm saying the same word even. Like, I wish I could hear somebody else say the word separately now. You're on there. Boom. Got you right now, Sarah. Thank you so much. Appreciate that. And then passing the plate a little bit further, Bonnie Bailey coming through with the $2 holler, passing the plate. Thank you so much, Bonnie Bailey. Appreciate that. Bonnie Bailey, of course, a G around these parts. And I still have some merchandise to get to Bonnie. I really just need to get it in a new envelope and write out your address as legible as I possibly can in case that was an issue that was going on. But thank you, Bonnie. Thank you so much. Appreciate it. Who else we got? Rog here real quick coming through here. Also, whoa, Pammy coming through here. The $1.99. Whoa, the plate's being passed around currently right now in the church. And everyone's hopping. Everybody's rocking and rolling, baby. Huh? Everybody getting a little bit right now. Pammy, thank you so much. I appreciate it. Boom. Filling up that wheel quickly. Here we go.
Right.
I'm sorry, sir. You have to ask that one again.
Okay. As I understood what you just told me, that by the time the coroners came back and finally admitted to the scene, you folks had done your examination of the foyer and stair area and had placed your evidence tags down.
Yes, sir.
So evidence had already been found by the time they first were admitted, correct?
Yes.
Okay. Now, the issue of the bullets, let's just go step by step what happened with them. At the scene, Sergeant Katz examined the gun, determined it was had some unexpended cartridges within the cylinder, correct?
Yes, sir.
And those photographs that I showed you this morning and that Mr. Dixon has shown you show steps in the process of examining the gun. Is that right?
Yes, sir.
All right. Now, at some point, the cylinder was released. The cartridges were removed from the cylinder by Mr. Katz. Is that right?
Yes.
And that was done at the scene?
Yes.
And that was done simply by him holding the gun, releasing the cylinder latch, pulling the bullets out one by one from the cylinders?
Actually, I think if you just dump the gun upside down, the cartridges will fall out.
Okay.
Yo, Dave. What's up,
Actually,
Dave?
once a cartridge is expended, it sometimes
Dave,
expands, right?
Yes.
And at least on those, you frequently have to.
No, this is the
use an
first one.
ejector that-
This
there's
is
an
his first
ejector rod in
trial.
the front
The
of
second one's
cylinder,
not.
right?
The second one's not on court TV, sadly.
Correct.
And it has kind of a star gear on the back of it, which pushes the cartridges out the back of the cylinder. Is that right?
That's correct.
Okay. Did
Ooh,
you see
Jersey
how he
Gin coming
actually
through.
did that?
The $2
I
holler.
saw him do it. I wasn't paying close attention
Oh,
to it.
Drew on the wheel. I got you.
At any
Thank you,
event,
Jen.
once the bullets or the cartridges could be removed from the cylinder, they were placed into a single evidence envelope. Is that right?
Yes, sir.
And insofar as he had to use his
Damn,
hand-
right after that, Drew Gambino, who just got put on the wheel by Jen, came through the Venmo and came through with a $5. Hell yeah. Thank you so much, Drew. Appreciate that, man. Wow. The wheel.
And he was using the same hand.
Thank
that
you
he'd
so
been
much. I
previously
appreciate
handling
that.
The gun with, right?
And you're on the wheel twice now,
Yes, I
Drew.
believe so.
Okay.
Doubling your chances, my man.
You're familiar with the California Department of Justice, right?
I am, sir.
And,
Wow, where we at?
Are you familiar with their Bureau of Forensic Services?
I am not.
Three
Are you
away.
familiar with the fact that the California Department of Justice promulgates and then distributes its guidelines on various justice issues, including the handling of evidence?
I am.
And are you aware that the Department of Justice Bureau of Forensic Services has said that when you're removing bullets from a revolver, they should be packaged in individual envelopes?
I am unaware of that specific guideline.
Okay, may I approach, Your Honor?
You may.
Yeah, Jay, thanks for the share, dude. Appreciate it. Taryn Dusty, thanks for the share. Hell yeah. Dizzy, thanks for the share. Laura, thanks for the share. Stacy, thanks for the share.
Showing you a document
Where's the pickles?
that's,
The
captured
love and
California
support tonight.
Department of Justice, Bureau
Feeling it,
of
guys. Thank you all.
Forensic
Wow.
Services, physical evidence bulletin, firearms evidence collection procedures, and then down toward the bottom it says unloading
If
revolvers.
you're not in the Discord,
Just read that
get
paragraph
in there. Have a lot of cool people in there doing a lot of cool stuff.
Familiarize you with their procedures.
Okay.
Now, that agency at least believes that the individual bullet should be individually packaged, right?
Yes, sir.
And do you know why that would be?
Why that agency believes that?
Yes, sir.
That's asking in the Spectre.
Do you have
Oh shit, I missed this one. This is yeah.
Sustain.
All right. If you put a group of items.
See, Jersey Jen, mod in the chat is absolutely insane, all right? When she will start just going wild out here. So right now, she's coming through and showing some more love. Of course, putting Dizzy on the wheel with a $2 holler. Thank you so much, Jen. Appreciate that. Boom. Let me get Dizzy's name in here so I don't mess this up. I always feel like if I don't put it in right then and there, it is going to be forgotten quickly. And then coming through right after and put Pammy on the wheel with a $2 holler. Thank you so much. Appreciate that. Thank you, Jen.
Some containing
Wow.
trace evidence and some not into the same container, there is a chance that there will be transfer of that trace evidence, correct?
Yes, sir.
Okay.
One more till a spin. I'm going to go ahead and erase
So
the
once
names
bullets
off.
Well, one other question before I leave that.
Make sure I'm
In
not
a
missing
six-shot
anything.
revolver, the expended round immediately after a shot is at top dead center, is that right?
It should be, yes, that's correct, at the 12 o'clock position.
Okay, and that's where the expended round was discovered in this case, is that right?
Yes, sir.
Now, with a six-shot revolver, which is what this was, there is a round that would be at bottom dead center, is that correct?
Yes, sir.
And that round would be shielded from at least the front part by the
Oh, wow.
frame of the
Finishing
gun
off that wheel, Jersey
continues
Jen,
on
thank
to
you
the
so
trigger
much.
guard, is that right?
Sparring court reporter.
Partially, yes, sir.
Gotcha.
Okay, you think that with this particular model of firearm, that round that is at bottom dead center would not be completely shielded from the any blowout from the front by the frame of the gun?
Objecting argumentative at this point. He gave his answer.
If the objection's overruled, you may answer.
All right, good luck,
I don't know
everyone.
the answer to your question, I'm sorry.
Okay. You do know that that round is going to be behind the frame, however, correct?
Yes, sir.
Now, once the bullets were placed in the envelope, they're taken to the evidence locker or to the evidence booking
Couch
room.
juror coming through here.
And then placed into the evidence locker, is that correct?
Yes, sir.
And they stayed there for an unknown period of time until some months later, you again observed them at the sheriff's crime lab, correct?
That's correct.
Over on Beverly, right?
That's correct.
All right. And at that time, at least you and criminalist Renteria were present in some examination room, is that right?
That's correct.
Was there anybody else there?
Other criminalists working on other
Okay.
evidence.
How about at the particular workstation Mr. Renteria was using? Just you?
I don't remember. It was in my life, it was a non-event. I just don't recall.
Okay. But you remember enough of the non-event to remember that there was some swabbing going on of the projectile portion, the bullet portion of the cartridge, correct?
Yes, sir.
And what did Mr. Renteria do? He took
Ready
a
to
cotton
rock,
swab,
baby.
Did he put it in any solvent, do you know?
I don't know.
Do you even know if it was a cotton swab?
Again, I don't know.
When you say it was swabbing it, what are you describing?
He had the item in one hand
Yo,
and
Drew, thank you, dude. Good luck, man. You're on this wheel
other
twice.
item in the other hand, and I wasn't.
Drew in a
again,
shirt.
It was a non-event. I wasn't paying close attention to it. It's a pretty large room, larger than this courtroom, and there are different workstations where the criminalists conduct different examinations on.
I bet we
different
do.
levels of evidence.
I bet we do have time for a second wheel. Yeah, I'm going to be hanging out for a
It's actually
bit.
glass doors. You can, when you walk by the hallway.
Second wheel, ready to rock and
secure,
roll.
But you can look inside and see them all doing their work.
Were you inside the laboratory or outside one of the glass doors or windows?
Both. I was both.
Well, at the point in time he was doing what you believe was swabbing the bullet, where were you?
I walked in through the door while he was there in that room doing what he was doing.
Okay. By describing it as a non-event, it sounds to me like you were not paying critical attention to it so you could sometime later testify step by step by step what he was doing.
Absolutely. I think I just happened to be there for another reason. I wasn't there to supervise or to watch him perform that task.
Okay. So you weren't there as with the intent of being an observer for this process. It was an unimportant event in your investigative life. And at this point, your best belief is he only swabbed the bullet, the projectile portion?
Yes.
But it sounds to me like you weren't paying close enough attention that you could say with a high degree of certainty that that's all he did.
Excuse me, are you able to answer the question?
I am not.
All right, the objection is sustained.
So he may have done something else when you weren't watching?
Absolutely.
Okay. In any event,
I've never seen
swab
Josh.
that
I know
he
some
used,
people
did
have
you see what
spotted
he
him
did with that?
randomly.
I did not.
see if he used more than one swab?
I did not.
Okay. Final subject, I'm going to ask you about you saw a photograph, what we kind of generically been describing as a micro photograph, that is close-up photographs of the guns?
Yes, sir.
Gun. And in that, you said, the gun appears to be in the same condition at the time of the photograph as the
There we
time
go.
you
New
found
wheel
it at
starting
the
right
scene.
now.
Yes, sir.
And
Charlotte from the
so let's
future
just start with
getting on
the
that son of a
first point,
bitch.
and that is,
Thank you,
when
Jersey
was the
Jen.
photograph taken?
Jersey Jen's insane here tonight.
In the crime
Wild.
lab, I think within a day or two of the murder happening.
Oh,
Do you have a clear recollection
been on a
of that?
second wheel already.
I do. That I do have a clear recollection of.
And you think it was within a day or so as opposed to sometime in early March?
My recollection is that it was rapidly within the time of the murder. Perhaps a day or two or three, yes.
Well, perhaps it was, you just said. Does that also hold out the possibility of perhaps it was at a later time?
That possibility exists. Again, that too was a non-event.
Wheel wars
Unfortunately,
begin.
crime
Couch
lab
drawer.
sometimes several times a day dealing with the
Thank
crime
you
lab
so much.
personnel,
Coming through with
and
the $2.
once I've completed my task, if they happen to be doing other tasks with other evidence and other cases, I may
Damn, Simi.
glance at it. or
Simi
look.
having another opportunity. Jersey Jen coming through and getting her on the second wheel with a $2 holler. Wow. Thank you so much,
at it,
Jen.
but that doesn't have any bearing
Keeping
on
me busy
my
here.
purpose or function for being
Love it.
there.
I love it. What are we doing? Huh? What are we doing? Not messing around for one thing.
When you're saying, again, this is
Okay,
a
cool.
non-event,
Thank you, Pammy.
I take it
It's
you
got
weren't
a
there to
Error on my
carefully
backstage here,
monitor
but I
the
think it's
photographic
just trying to
process
catch
make
up.
sure that it photographed everything that was relevant on the piece of evidence.
Cheney in the
Is that a fair
house.
statement?
That's very accurate. yes.
Damn, Couchster getting another
When you're saying
opportunity.
It appears to be the same.
When you get double
are you saying
chances,
it appears to the
you never
naked
know.
eye, to my naked eye, to be the same.
By the
You
same
never
means, the
know.
Same weapon.
No, well, yeah.
Thank you so
we're
much,
gonna
Jim.
Assume that. I think that I took the questions to be, did the condition of any tissue or blood on the gun, did that appear to be the same as it was at the scene? Did you take it to mean, did the gun appear to be the same?
The answer to your question is yes. The gun appeared to be the same, and the condition of the gun appeared to be the same in the photo lab.
Wow, we're going to get Couchster a
as it
freaking
did at the
shirt.
scene.
Okay.
Bonnie Bailey, thank you
When
so
you're
much.
talking about appears to be the same in reference to the
Wow.
blood
Wow.
and or tissue that was on the gun, are you saying it appears to my naked eye to be the same?
Yes, sir.
All right. Now, you didn't, at the scene, make any kind of a diagramming where on the barrel, where on the frame, where on the cylinder, where on the grips, where anywhere on
Wow.
the gun there were
Pokemom's on there now
items
also because
that
of Jersey
appeared
Gin.
to be
$2 holler?
You didn't make that kind of
I think that was the last
notation, did you?
one.
No.
So you were relying on your memory as to where, let's just say generically, the blood may have been on that gun, correct?
Yes, sir.
And if there had been changes that occurred, they weren't so gross that you would notice them, correct?
I can't answer that.
Okay.
I'm sorry, I can't answer that, and the answer is yes. If there were changes, they were so minimal, I didn't notice them, if in fact there were changes.
But the minimal changes could involve the trace evidence, correct?
But there were changes.
Assuming as a hypothetical, overruled.
If there were changes, they wouldn't necessarily be visible to you, would they?
In a hypothetical question, the answer would be yes.
Okay, I think the answer would be no. Let me ask it. I ask it in a negative way. If there were changes to the trace evidence, would you necessarily be able to see that?
No.
All right.
Holy shit. Dixie getting a will spot thanks to Jen as well with $2.
Dried blood will flake off of
Got
an item,
you.
correct?
Yes.
And that's why they put it in special
I
packages.
think Jersey
so
Jen's
any
filled this
flakes
entire will up.
You can collect them, right?
I don't know if that's why.
With
they put them in
kindness.
special packaging is just for that purpose, sir.
Right, but that can be done, or that is done, that forensically, items with trace or
Yo,
grossly
Brooklyn,
visible
get in
amounts of
here.
blood are placed into packaging that will maintain any blood that, or other tissue that may fall off of the item, correct?
That's correct.
Okay. Do I have any time left? Because, all right, can I reserve any minutes I have left for another witness at some point? Because I'm done.
Oh, for fuck's sake, buddy.
Thank you. Redirect.
Is he asking that I yield?
I yield my minutes, that's what.
Your Honor, I have no further questions. Thank you.
All right, thank you for being here. Subject to recall. You're
Oh, shit.
excused. You may step
Oh,
down.
shit. About
Call
to
your
get
next
called.
witness.
Your Honor, I think we've reached the issue that Mr. Rowe
See where we're going next.
Ladies and gentlemen, there's some matters that we're going to have to do outside your presence. If you'd keep in mind the admonition and
Fucking
step back in the
creepy
jury,
Phil.
We'll call you as soon as we can.
Creepy
Thank you very
Phil.
much.
Whew. Let's see where we're going next. Another 22 minutes. Okay. Outside the presence of the jury, the judge and counsel discuss Sarah Kaplan being called to the stand outside the presence of the jury. So something's going on here with a lady named Sarah Kaplan. Let's go ahead and get a wheel spin out of the way since it's been absolutely insane here tonight. I think I just missed another one. Holy shit, dude. Jersey Jen, thank you so much. Holy shit, $2. Kitty C getting a spot. Thanks to the kindness as well. Holy shit. 2, 3. Count the new wheel. 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. So we're already 4 away from a second wheel here tonight, folks. And Jersey Jen going absolutely insane. Of course, the Cash App's open. The Venmo's open. All of that stuff. Let me check it. Make sure I'm not missing anything. But yeah, let's do a wheel spin right now. Give me 1 second. Let's go. Get this set up here. That's the new camera angle. It's not as pretty. Dan would hate that. He gets real angry. See my spray bottle? Good luck, everyone! Simi! There we go! Boom! Congratulations. Simi Sharp, holy shit. Winning that one, getting another shirt. So the next shirt going out is going to be for Simi Sharp. So she just picked up another shirt. And we have a lot of shirts, guys, on PubliclyBuzzed.com. We have a lot of, I'm telling you right now, we have the best fucking merch in true crime. But hell yeah, Simi Sharp, congratulations. You just won yourself another shirt. Let me see if she had told me what the one I'm going to order here soon will be. Yeah, she's getting the hanging and banging shirt, so she's going to be getting another shirt. Will it be the Buzz Mystery shirt? Who knows? Who knows? Congratulations. That was a good Will spin. Also, new camera angle does make it easier to see as well. Ember Burns in the chat here tonight. What's up, Ember? $5 holler coming through with Joanne real quick. Please put Young Black Economist on the Wheel of Wars. Yes, I will. Love Young Black Economist. Always coming through here and showing love. And let me get you right here. Let me get you, I think that's 3 left on the new wheel, if I'm not mistaken. I have a huge list I kind of just keep up with everything with, but hell yes. Thank you so much, Joanne, for your kindness as well. Absolutely amazing. We have the best people in the Buzz Nation. I'll say that every day of the week. And then, oh shit, also, hold on. I'm out of breath. We're going so hard here tonight. Ain't even had time. That's what I like to hear, baby. Woo. Oh, shit. Pam coming through the Cash App with a $5 holler. Thank you so much, Pam. Appreciate that. And given that's with the $5, she says, for Brooklyn. Pesos on that sumbitch. Hell yes. Hell yes. Brooklyn fucking rules also. Love Brooklyn. And she's getting on the wheel right now. Thanks to, again, the kindness of Pam. Thank you, Pam. Appreciate that. Let me do another count here just real quick. 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10. We're 2 away. 2 away from another solid will spin. Will spin. I will spin the wheel. Will I spin the wheel? These are the same words to me. I don't know. Brooklyn, get on that son of a bitch. Oh my God, Jersey Jen. She said, you know what? I'm not done yet. $2 holler coming through. Put Taryn Dusty on the wheel. Thank you so much. And I will. Taryn Dusty, also multi-time shirt winner, if I'm not mistaken. I believe she's already received 1 shirt. Thank you so much. And yeah, we're right there, folks. Wow. Craziness. Yeah, this community is pretty cool. It's pretty freaking special. I appreciate everyone that comes through here, shows love, hangs out. And yeah, I mean, we have a good time in here in the face of a lot of weird, fucked up stories and cases. And yeah, I appreciate it, man. So yeah, we're going to keep rolling here. 22 minutes in this next section. And again, outside the presence of the jury, we're talking about a lady by the name of Sherry Kaplan. So yeah, let's jump in here and see what's going on.
I took the court's time and some of the jurors' time, and I apologize for that. I thought
shit,
it was
there we go.
appropriate time to do it.
Jersey Jen getting the
I would
last
just
spot thanks to
readopt
Taryn
what I had
Dusty.
indicated to the
Thank
court
you so
several
much.
moments ago, and also, I just wanted to emphasize one point. About
Wow,
that.
you guys are
Ms.
crazy.
Kaplan
You guys
has
are
made it
amazing.
very
I think that was the
clear
last
through
spot.
her
Let me make sure I'm
counsel
not
to me
lying.
that she does not want to be put in a position where she has to testify against Mr. Spector, her client. And I just wanted to, I know I spoke to that in more general terms a moment ago, but I want to speak to it at this point in the very specific terms that I just have. So I've made my record. The court understands where we are on this, and I think the court may want to hear from Mr. Jackson or Mr. Dixon as to where we're going on this.
Oh, yep, we got another wheel, baby. It's ready to go. Thank you guys so much. I'll go ahead and get her popped up. Ready to rock, baby. 38 minutes into Murder Church here tonight. We already got two full spins. You kidding me?
Trial.
Jeez.
The jury. I would also point out everything I know. is
Jersey
that
Jen's on fire. She's on fire.
Mr. Spector is not her client at this time. I don't think there's any indication
Get a new
of that.
feel
I
up
just
here.
don't see any legal reason or privilege that would
Son of a bitch.
prevent
Look
her
at
from
him.
testifying.
Look at this son of a bitch.
Mr. Rosen?
Yes, thank you. I know that Mr. Dixon knows as well as we all do that the fact that she is not currently representing him does not mean that the privilege evaporates into thin air and goes away. The privilege lives, and it lives beyond the relationship, and the court, I know, knows that, and that's the only thing I want to indicate. And I think we've got some decisions to make here now. And also, as I indicated to the court, you know, Mr. Nassetier has now joined us, Your Honor. He's in the courtroom. If the court wants to hear further in terms of what I've already brought before the court moments ago, he's also available to speak to the court.
Ron, on that issue of privilege, the court, I think, went into this kind of made its rulings, listened to the arguments, and made a rather bright line as to where the privilege was and where it wasn't, and on what subject matters. And I don't know that, I mean, it's up to the court, obviously, but I don't know that we need to relitigate that. As an offer of proof, we were basically, and the court heard the testimony.
Yo, City Kitty.
Ms. Kaplan, the same questions that were asked before on direct and cross-examination when she testified at the earlier.
Thank you.
Just one final thing. I know that I did say this previously. I'm going to say it again. It is Mr. Spector's position that he asserts the privilege that he does not want Ms. Kaplan testifying in this case against him.
He may not want Ms. Kaplan to testify. First, she is not testifying against him, nor is she testifying or will be expected to testify to any privileged communications. She is testifying or would be expected to testify to observations that are clearly not privileged under California law and under United States Supreme Court law. She has no right to claim a privilege to non-privileged matters if she chooses not to testify. Make no mistake, and Mr. Nassetier, if you want to address me and Ms. Kaplan as in the courtroom, I will hold her in contempt. In almost 25 years on the bench, I have never held an attorney in contempt.
Yo.
I take this extremely seriously, and I think she is making a terrible mistake. Mr. Nassetier?
Yippee-ki-yay, motherfucker.
Huh? Who don't fuck around? Larry Fiddler.
Your Honor, thank you for the opportunity to allow me to address
Best
the court.
judge.
In 40 years of criminal law practice, I have never heard of an attorney being called by the people to testify, or called by the state to testify against their client or their former client. I think this is without precedent, as far as I know. Maybe there are one or two situations that do not apply here in this case. It's not just a privilege issue. I know Your Honor allowed me, and I thank the court for allowing me to be heard in chambers yesterday, where I voiced these same
Boom.
arguments.
Will ready, baby.
Besides the attorney-client privilege, there's the work product privilege, which comes under that privilege, and then there's the attorney-client.
What is it? Wheel time.
Relationship, which relates to this case through the Sixth Amendment to the United States Constitution, the Due Process
Can you see?
Clause,
Thanks for that share.
and our state of California Constitution, Your Honor. And lastly, there is the attorney's duty of loyalty to her client, her former client. Your Honor, imagine the most dangerous person, which Mr. Spector is not, imagine the most dangerous person in the world who was your client, and the people calling you as a witness, who were formerly his attorney, and the attorney has to testify. This is not an investigator. This is an officer of the court. This is a person who has other than an investigator, as in Meredith, this is an officer of the court who has ethical duties handed down to her through centuries and by the state of California State Bar.
Shit. Missed that one.
It's unprecedented.
City Kitty on the wheel, thanks to
I'm
Couch
asking you,
Juror.
with
Wow.
all due humility, Your Honor,
Starting a new
don't
wheel.
place a defense attorney in the position
Wow.
of having to
Thank you, Couch
testify
Juror.
against her former client. The attorney, you're stepping between the attorney-client relationship that still exists. He has ordered her not to testify. He is her client. This was an evidentiary hearing. After the evidentiary hearing, which I
Son of a
understand the
bitch.
defense asserted the attorney-client privilege, the court overruled it and asserted all privileges and objected to the testimony. The court indicated that it would not hold the testimony of the people who testified in the evidentiary hearing, including my client, against Mr. Spector because he was not present. And the court was going to fashion another remedy, and did fashion a remedy, which was it would be allowed for impeachment against Henry Lee.
Got you, Pammy.
Somewhere
Thank you.
between that ruling and now, my client has become a witness for the prosecution to testify against her own client. Mr. Spector wasn't there. He wasn't present. This is her jury trial. This is the jury that's going to decide his guilt or innocence in an issue of life and death, of life and serious prison time for her client. She can't do it. And I'm asking you to reconsider your ruling with all humility, Your Honor. I thank you for hearing me, and I'm appealing to your sense of justice not to do this to my client, Ms. Kaplan.
Thank you. Is there anything else you wanted to offer?
No, Your Honor.
My sense of justice applies not only to Mr. Spector and counsel and the prosecution, also to Ms. Clarkson, and to justice itself. Now, you tell me not to put myself between Mr. Spector and Ms. Kaplan. When Ms. Kaplan went to a scene and she observed by her own testimony that she gave under oath, someone manipulate, take, and because of the situation we find ourselves in now, either conceal or destroy evidence, there is no privilege not to testify to her observations. There is none. It is not privileged material. Meredith makes that clear.
Spicy right
Fairbanks
now.
makes that clear. Lee makes that clear. And even an attorney's sacred obligation to his or her client does not permit them to violate the law. And the courts have held that that is not
Joe.
privileged. And therefore, she has no opportunity or she has no right, if called, not to testify. And if she refuses to testify, I must use the power given to me, which I have never used in 25 years, to see that the law is followed. An attorney is different than no other individual when it comes to following the law. Their obligation is to follow the law. And if she chooses not to testify, and if I order her to testify and she refuses that order, then I will hold her in contempt.
I understand the court's position, Your Honor. It's not a choice. It's not a choice for her.
She has a choice.
It's a
Mr.
duty.
Messenger.
It's a duty, and it's always been a duty, and it's always been a sacred duty. And she holds that dear, and she holds that sacred. And she wants me to tell the court she does not want to be contemptuous of the court in any way. This is not just a privilege matter. We keep talking about privilege in this courtroom. I understand the court's ruling that it's not attorney-client privilege. It's much more than that. It's the Sixth Amendment. It's the attorney-client relationship. It's putting an officer of the court who's sworn to be the only friend that a defendant has under the Constitution, the only person that advocates for his interest at every peril.
If this previous attorney comes up and he says, yeah, he put a gun in my mouth, we were alone, and like, what the fuck?
And I'm quoting the canons of ethics, at every peril. The only person your court is putting him in a position to have him called by the prosecutors.
Oh, I got you,
And
Pammy.
subpoenaed
Thank
by the
you.
prosecutor. She's here
Jeannie.
pursuant to subpoena. She's being forced to come here, and now she's being forced to testify against her own client. It's not right. It's not legal, and I'm asking the court not to
Got
punish
you.
her for.
Couch Juror, thank you.
exercising her duty as an officer of this court.
I must respectfully disagree. It is right, it is legal, it is the law, and it is her obligation. I'm sorry, sir. Is it?
Your Honor, this is a gentleman who's assisting us, if it goes that far, with appellate matters. His name, Your Honor, escapes me for a moment. Jance Weberman, Your Honor. Thank you. Thank you,
right.
Mr. Weberman. I got all wound up there, Your Honor.
All right.
Your
Rule
Honor,
3 is a trucking.
all I want to say is also, you have less drastic alternatives in this case. You can instruct the jury.
Phil looking at this guy like right now, I should have hired this dude. Like, wait, why is this dude here even? Is he arguing for, I'm guessing this is her attorney. But Phil's looking at him like, damn, this guy's good. I've got 50 attorneys over here. None of them are this
This
good.
can be done by stipulation, which this can be done by an admonishment to the jury.
Stipulation how, Mr. Nassatir?
Well,
Please tell me who's going to stipulate to what.
well, maybe that an anonymous person, rather
Thank you, Pammy.
than an attorney, I don't know. We haven't explored it. I asked that it be explored the other day, and it wasn't. But you can instruct the jury. You can fashion another remedy like you did the other day, like we thought that was the ruling after the evidentiary hearing, that it can be introduced for impeachment if Henry Lee testifies. That was the prior ruling. That was of the evidentiary hearing. And also, Your Honor, as I understand it, Stan White, who's an investigator, is voluntarily here. He can testify to the same thing. Why make an officer of the court testify in this situation where you have less drastic alternatives that you can fashion? And I know that you're a brilliant jurist.
It's crazy.
Easy, Mr.
I would hate to have a different judge. And look, he's already, he's the best. Like, I would hate to have someone different, quite honestly. Like, they couldn't do what Larry Fiddler, what Judge Dowhard, okay, what Judge Bruce Willis, all right, does in this courtroom. Sorry about that.
This is gun country.
Mr. Nassatir.
Who can,
I don't want to have to drive my robe off, okay?
who
Boom,
has
Dizzy.
an
$5
active
holler with
line
Shiraz.
who
Thank you
can
so much, Shiraz.
Draft a less drastic alternative, especially when you
Guys
have
are
the
so
same
kind.
testimony coming from Stan White.
Well, I'll answer the last one first. I don't make credibility calls. The jury does. But I would say that Mr. White's credibility, because of the way he got into the case and many other factors, is subject to a great deal more impeachment than Ms. Kaplan's is. She is virtually an unimpeachable witness from the people's standpoint. Her credibility is unimpeachable.
Thank you.
And there's a big difference with that and perhaps Mr. White. I'm not saying there is or there is not. That's for the jury to draw. I made to draw that decision or to draw that conclusion. I made certain findings when I made the findings in this case, factual findings that I did. But the people definitely are in a different position having to call Mr. White or relying on Mr. White alone than they are with Ms. Kaplan's testimony. And by a stipulation, the jury, an anonymous person, they don't know who it is, and judging credibility, that's basically useless. If there's a stipulation, if there's an offer to stipulate that Ms. Kaplan would be sworn, called, and testify, that's something else.
That's the same thing.
Well,
but I mean, I'm asking for the court.
I should tell you that there is a chance that her testimony would
He's
be
not going to stop.
introduced in
They
the
don't
trial
stop
in any
now.
effect. If I
We
held
have
her
10
in
more minutes of him
contempt,
just going
obviously,
back
I
and
would
forth.
stay any such
Guaranteed.
sentence I'm required to as a matter of law, in any
Guaranteed.
event, to allow you to test it, but at some point she may be unavailable as a witness. And then there's a question of whether her prior testimony, which was subject to cross-examination, is admissible at the time of trial. So her victory may be, if there ever is, if you want to call it a victory, I do not, might be very hollow.
This is not a victory.
I understand.
This is not a situation where we're in opposition to the court by anything. Nothing in what I've said indicates that she wants to be contemptuous of this court. She wants to follow the law as she's been taught in law school, as she's read by the canon of ethics, and as she's been advised by attorneys, that she can't testify under these circumstances at a jury trial, being called by the people, her clients, who are trying to deprive her client of his liberty. She cannot testify under those circumstances.
All right, thank you.
Your Honor, I
Mr. Dixon?
briefly point out two things. One, everyone seems to have forgotten that at the hearing, the defense, Mr. Spector's lawyers called Ms. Kaplan to the stand, which no one seems to really recall now, but she took the stand, she took it voluntarily.
7 on the new
She
will,
went through
Jen.
direct and
5 away.
cross-examination, and because of that, we're now calling her. But she originally did this voluntarily, and she did it on behalf of Mr. Spector's lawyers and came to court and testified. Secondly, if, I don't know how this is all going to play out, but if there's going to be a refusal to testify, I think it should be outside the jury's presence.
Well, the question is whether, if I hold her in contempt, and normally you would take any proceeding where someone is going to claim a privilege, excuse me, and do it outside the presence of the jury. I'm not sure, for the purpose of holding her in contempt, not that I want to, and I beg you, Mr. Nassatir, to reconsider your position. I know the position you find yourself in. I know the position that Ms. Kaplan finds herself in. I hope you understand and respect the position I find myself in. I'm basically begging you not to do this.
I'm begging you.
Begging!
Well, I guess we're basically, neither one is going to answer the other's request then.
Wow.
That's what's going to happen.
Wow.
I have to take a look at whether or not it's appropriate to go through with the contempt proceedings if she can claim the privilege and refuse to
He's
answer
so fucking
outside
fair.
the presence of the jury and still be
Tell
held
me
in
Judge
contempt.
Fiddler's
I'm
not the
sure
fairest
about
judge you've seen.
Yes.
A couple things here. In the hearing outside the presence of the jury, and this is not in any way in derogation of Mr. Dixon, but it was not a cross-examination.
She's going to come in here and say he stuck a gun in her mouth. I'm telling you.
Kaplan here for the purposes of that hearing, and when we put Ms. Kaplan on, and I was the lawyer that did put her on, I called her and I examined her on direct.
Oh,
not
Rosin, you
cross.
fucking
And secondly, the purposes
loser.
for which we presented her at that time were somewhat different, and the examination, and I can tell the court this, the examination was not tailored to be an examination that would ever be read to a jury, because certainly we know in situations where that may be a sign on the doorpost before we walk through the door, we as defense lawyers, and especially lawyers who've been around as long as Mr. Bruno or Mr. Cutler, Ms. Baden, myself, Mr. Plord, and certainly Mr. Dixon, Mr. Jackson, are going to tailor their questioning a lot differently in those rare instances, for example, where there's a deposition in a criminal matter in a state case. So in that particular hearing that we had, it was not a cross-examination by the defense. I put her on as our witness. I put her on direct, and I didn't do a cross-examination of her. And I can tell the court, I remember it, and I certainly, if I had any premonition whatsoever that that testimony was going to be wound up at some point being read to a jury because of the declaration by a judicial officer that she was unavailable for future purposes, the questioning would have been done a lot differently. So I think that's important to put that in context, because it has been a bit since we've visited that particular issue with her.
Thank you.
Can I just be
Just a second. I think Ms. Kaplan wishes to be heard.
Your Honor, may Ms. Kaplan address the
Of
court?
course she may.
Your Honor, when I was initially contacted by this case, Mr. Wiley of the prosecutor's office called me and said that
Hi, Barry.
the court was
Getting in
ordered
there.
my presence, and their office was ordered to serve me with a subpoena, which I accepted by fax. I did not know what this was about.
This her?
I was led to
We've
believe
already
that
seen
the
her
court
once.
had overruled the privilege for the limited purpose of an evidentiary
Kaylin.
hearing on a very small issue. I never anticipated, and I believe it's unprecedented, that a lawyer would ever be called to testify in a prosecution's case in chief against a client or a former client when the law and all the ethical obligations that I am sworn to uphold say otherwise. I have read Meredith. Meredith did not require an attorney to testify. The attorney in that case knew it was evidence. I do not know what I saw. I did not see it leave the premises. I saw something. It was not my call to make. You have an alternative here where this Mr.
Look at
White
him.
claims to have known what it was, claims to have seen exactly where it is. I don't remember. And he claims that he discussed it with Dr. Lee. I did not. I never saw it leave the premises. Under
Dr.
these
Lee.
circumstances, and the court in Meredith limited its holding to the narrow circumstances in that case, they had the investigator testify because he was the one who saw it in the location that it was, not the attorney. They kept the source of the information privileged, and the, I'm sorry. I'm just so upset about
understand.
this.
Forgot my
Never in my life
script.
thought I would be in a
Sorry
position like
about
this,
that.
And it's a horrible situation to be in. I have no desire to be
Compose my
contemptuous to Your Honor.
fake
I understand.
bullshit self.
I understand fully. We're not, excuse me. We're not going to be deciding this today in any event. I need too much time to review some matters before we go forward with Ms. Kaplan. We know what her
Playing
position is,
on
that people
the
are
sweet
gonna be
con
forced to
side
move
of
forward
Larry
with other
Fiddler is what
witnesses,
just
assuming
happened
they
there.
do nothing. You know her position is clear.
He's a good man.
We need a few minutes to
That's fine.
check on alternative witnesses.
May I just add?
Yes.
Since, I agree with this.
Kaylin with the $3 through the Cash App. Thank you so much, Kaylin. Getting on that new will. Let's see where we're at.
This issue needs to be resolved outside of the jury.
I tend to agree with you that normally that's done. There are some things in the contempt procedure that make me question that, but I'll have to seek some guidance on that.
Because we are in an unusual area, beyond the normal process of determining privilege issues outside the presence, we have the additional factor in this case is that this is not admissible against Mr. Spectre per se in any event. So we have that second level that sometimes that we have to accommodate in some way, even in this process now.
I understand.
And also, we just want to keep in mind that the footnote to all this is that, as Ms. Kaplan said and as Mr. Nassatir said, it's not that the government is not without another opportunity, that is Stan White.
I've responded to that, Mr. Rosen. I think
Rosen,
that
sit the fuck down.
I'm going to be very honest. The defense has made noises
Shit.
before about attacking Mr. White's credibility.
Making
And then they say,
noises.
well, use Stan White. That's okay. That'll get the job done. That's basically disingenuous. That's basically disingenuous because I know for a fact that you're going to go after Mr. White. You've already indicated. I don't know whether you plan to attempt to use other things against him that haven't even brought out yet that you've mentioned. And based upon that, to say, well, just go ahead and use Stan White, that's just not right. That's just not right.
First of all, he's not my witness.
Well, I understand that, but what you're doing is you're trying to set up a situation or establish a set of facts or a certain aura that there's no need to call Ms. Kaplan because we have this other witness. But when you plan to attack the other witness and that witness's credibility, when
Listen
Ms.
to this.
Kaplan could not be attacked in such a fashion, please don't do that. It's disingenuous. It very clearly is. And I think
I
we
love
should
it.
drop that. You've made the point.
I love
I've
it.
responded to it. We really need to move along from that point.
Your Honor, at this time, I guess we have no choice. As the court knows, we had a certain witness list planned for this afternoon with the people's apology. Given the circumstances that Mr. Nassatir has brought up before the court and Ms. Kaplan has brought up, I think Mr. Dixon and I need a few minutes to find out if we can get another witness here. I do believe that we will not be able to fill up the entire afternoon, but we may be able to accommodate the court with at least one more witness.
Okay. Well, you go ahead and do that. In the meantime, I'm going to excuse Ms. Kaplan and Mr. Nassatir, order you back. We will not be in session tomorrow for good cause. I'll get into that later. We won't be coming back until Monday. So let's put you on call for Monday at 9 o'clock, and if we need you, we'll call you. We'll see where we go.
Your Honor,
Okay?
I wanted to introduce to the court, standing next to me,
Hello.
Mr. Chance Weberman. He's
Oh,
an
my
attorney.
God.
He's
What
going
a-
to be handling other aspects.
This is my
of the case when
attorney.
it comes to that.
If we get there. Okay.
Thank you.
All right. Thank you.
And he's going to need an attorney too, so let's...
All right.
What a
Thank you.
fucking
We'll be in recess.
circus.
Thank you.
Dixie just came through the old Venmo with $5. Thank you so much, Dixie. Appreciate that. Getting on the wheel. Oh, God, I got choked up. Hold on. Woo! Man, Judge Diehard is getting hot, and he's tired of all these lawyers bullshitting him. Let's see where we're at on the wheel right now. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10. 2 away right now from the next spin. And another Cash App just came through. Pam getting that next spot with the $5 in the Cash App. He ain't in chat, but put old Bob on the wheel. Oh, man, Bob isn't in the chat, but he is having a show after this show, and I'm going to shoot you actually over there via portal. So, Pam, that was perfect, actually, for a little commercial for Defense Diaries. As soon as this show is over, you don't have to go anywhere. I'm going to shoot you through a portal straight to his 10 o'clock show over on his channel. Pam, thank you so much. We got one spot left to go on the wheel. Number 3 here tonight on an absolute historic night here on Tuesday. I don't know if we've ever hit 3 wheels on a Tuesday. I could be wrong. We've had some pretty... Our highest number was 4 on a Feral Friday, which got absolutely insane. Yeah. Let's see where we go next, because we still got an hour until 10. here in the church. An hour 24. Damn. We'll fill it out. I don't know if we'll make that entire hour 24, but we'll fill it out and see how we're doing up until the 10 o'clock hour, see how we're all holding up. But it's going to be LA County Sheriff's Department Senior Criminalist Robert Keel takes the stand. And I'm going to take his name right here because what I need to do is actually make a new name for the screen down there for the lower third. So I'm going to grab that real quick, and then we're going to do another wheel real quick. Actually, hold on. We've almost got wheel number 3, and we got wheel number 2 about to be spun, which is fucking crazy. Holy shit. All right. Hold on. Let me get this. Ba-boom. 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 I appreciate everyone for hanging out. If you have not, oh, well, I fucked it up, actually. I'm going to have to delete that. I'll do that in just a minute. Let's go ahead and do the wheel. I'll do that as we start rolling here. I appreciate everyone that's came through here tonight. And I think someone just now came through the Cash App and finished up this thing. Is what just happened. Yes, Tiff Knox, $5. Put me on the wheel, and I think she just rounded this thing off. If I'm not mistaken, let me count this down. Thank you again for a $5 holler through the Cash App. Let's see here. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12. We got a third wheel. Holy shit. Woo, about to spin number 2, and I'm going to have to work on number 3. Insane. Buzz Nation pulling through here tonight in the church. Oh, shit. Nice, Kalen. Yeah. Anybody get shirts, post those up, man. Send those to me. Let's do this. Good luck, everyone, on wheel 2. Couch juror picking up a win here tonight on wheel number 2. Hell yeah, that's what I'm talking about. Congratulations, couch juror, for picking up a wheel number 2 win, baby. Let's go. We not stopping. We don't go all night, baby. Let me get you in the winner circle here real quick just so I don't mess this up. Boom. Simi won that first wheel, and Couch Juror just won the second wheel. That's what I'm talking about. Boom. Couch Juror, if you don't know what's up, get at me. PubliclyBuzzed@gmail.com. Pick out a shirt. Give me your size. Where am I sending it to? Bada bing, bada boom. And we've already got wheel number 3 ready to rock. I'm going to start working on that as we watch the testimony again. LA County Sheriff's Department Senior Criminalist Robert Keel, I believe is the name. Let's see how close I am on this name. Boom! Finally, that's right. I was waiting for you to come through there. Congratulations. Absolutely amazing. Crazy night here in the Buzz Nation. Love to see it. Let's go. Let's get in here. Let's keep rolling. Let me get another wheel going here because we already got one filled up.
Robert, R-O-B-E-R-T, Kyle, K-E.
Kyle, I had it right the first time and I got all fancy with it, damn it. Robert Kyle.
Thank you. You may proceed.
Hold on, let me get his name in here.
Mr. Kyle, could you do us a favor and tell us what you do for a living, please?
I'm employed as a senior criminalist for the Los Angeles County Sheriff's Department, Scientific Services Bureau.
What was your employment status back in February of 2003, Mr. Kyle?
I, at that time, was assigned newly to the firearms identification section where I was in training. I was also assigned to the after-hours physical evidence task personnel for the collection of evidence, which I continued to do even though I was in training for the firearms section.
How long had you been employed by the Sheriff's Department as of 2003, February of 2003?
Well, at that time, that would have been about 14 years.
You indicated that you were in training for the firearms section back in February of 2003. Explain to us, for those of us who are the uninitiated,
all right,
what you mean by you were in
wheel.
training. I'm assuming you weren't training for 14 years.
Yes. Prior to my assignment to the firearms identification section, I worked for the physical evidence section of the laboratory, which involved a different type of analysis, a different type of work. In November 2002, I was assigned to the firearms section where I started approximately 1.5 year training program for the collection of that type of evidence. However, I was still assigned to the after-hours crime scene investigation list for the collection of evidence at different locations.
That is crazy. That was just the first hour. What the hell?
Well, let me ask you this foundationally. I'll back up one question. Is it normal for a criminalist to move from section to section over the years during the course and scope of their employment at the Sheriff's Crime Lab?
Yes, it is.
And what you just explained to the jurors about your being in training at the firearms identification section, that was one of those circumstances where you had been assigned for several years to another section and then moving on to the firearms identification section, correct?
Yes.
But your after-hours assignment for crime scene investigations, that had been pretty consistent throughout your tenure at the crime lab?
Yes, in fact, beginning as early as 1990, I conducted field responses, and in 1994, my assignment to the trace evidence section. Through late 2003, I was still performing those functions as a physical evidence analyst, crime scene investigator.
So as of February of 2003, you had been doing some field investigative work and analysis for some 13 years or so?
Yes.
All right, so were you called out to 1700 Grandview Drive in Alhambra?
Yes, I was.
And going back to what we just talked about, I'm assuming that, as they say, the investigation that you did at 1700 Grandview, that wasn't your first rodeo, right?
That's correct.
All right. I guess you wouldn't say that. I would say that. All right.
Yes.
Who did you go with to 1700 Grandview?
Well, I was, my response was requested by another criminalist who was at the location. His name was Steve Renteria, and I was called by him to assist him in the documentation, identification, collection, and preservation of evidence items at that location.
Who is Steve
Boom.
Renteria?
New will ready to rock.
Steve Renteria
What the
is
fuck?
a criminalist.
What an insane night.
Who was assigned to the forensic biology section of the laboratory.
Wow.
You said that your duties at the crime scene included the documentation, collection, and investigation or analysis of certain physical items of evidence. Is that correct?
Yeah.
Yes, everything excluding analysis. It's primarily the
Get in here,
identification,
peeps.
documentation, collection, and preservation of any items of potential evidence value.
What education, training, and background qualified you to perform those duties?
Educationally, I have a
shit.
bachelor's degree in biology.
Everyone coming in from Hella's stream, get the hell in here. Welcome in. Hell yeah. Hella, appreciate that. Thank you so much. Hell yeah. Nice. We're having a crazy night over here already. Fuck yeah. That's what I'm talking about. Appreciate that, Hella. Nice.
I received from California State University, Northridge.
Welcome the hell in here.
In,
Boom. Kelly starting out the
I have a
fourth
master's
wheel
degree.
of the night.
I hired
Fourth
at the crime
wheel.
laboratory in 1989. Initially assigned to the narcotics section, subsequently to the physical evidence
That's
section,
insanity.
also known as the trace evidence section.
Y'all are
and then
nuts.
my current assignment to the firearms identification section. I have taken several classes through the California Department of Justice, California Criminalistics Institute in crime scene investigation, including Crime Scene Investigation 1 and Crime Scene Investigation 2, a more advanced course. A total of 80 hours of crime scene training. I have been trained by senior
Probably be
members
30
of,
minutes
the
of
staff
learning
at the
while this
laboratory
guy
in scene investigation. I have
man.
performed evidence collection and documentation at
gotta get
hundreds
through
of
his
scenes,
credentials.
ranging from the investigations of burglary through multiple homicide. I have produced reports on my findings, and I have testified several hundred times as an expert witness in courts of law for the County of Los Angeles.
When you've testified as an expert and been qualified as an expert,
Love it,
you
Casper.
said,
Welcome
I think,
in.
several hundred times. Is that correct?
Yes.
Is that on the issue of documentation, collection of evidence?
Yes, in many instances involving my personal field response, my documentation, and collection of items.
Can you explain for the jurors what the proper method for collection and documentation of evidence at a crime scene entails?
Objection made as to what items he's talking about.
Just generally speaking out loud, overruled.
Well, it does depend on the type of investigation that's being conducted. My response is at the request of a homicide detective who needs assistance in the documentation, maybe the identification of potential evidence items. How those items are handled depends on what type of evidence it is, frequently involving blood stains, involving clothing items, involving weapons of different sorts. and also just involving my experience with other investigations as far as recognizing what items are of potential evidence.
Oh, Casper doesn't know about the will. We have one will spin about to still take place. It's will number 3 here tonight. But anybody that donates at anything at all gets on the will, anything with a super chat, gifting out memberships, which if you're new here and your memberships are not turned on, make sure they are turned on because the Buzz Nation are actually insane and they will do some wild shit in the chat. And you want to be gifted up a membership if that becomes a possibility. But also, if you look at what's pinned there in the chat, the Cash App, the Venmo, anything like that, any kind of donation, your name gets on a will, and once we collect 12 names, I'll spin that son of a bitch, and then you have an opportunity to win merchandise from the PubliclyBuzzed.com merch store, and we have some pretty dope fucking merch. The new Meowder Church shirt, Hanging and Banging. We have a cult shirt right here. Don't drink the Kool-Aid. I wasn't about to say don't drink the Kool-Aid, but you need to drink the Kool-Aid, actually. You want to get in here. Some cool stuff to choose from if you do win through a win. They still be win through a will spin. And this is the hottest shirt right here in all of true crime. This is a very hot seller for us. A play on the Unsolved Mysteries logo. But yeah, get on that fucking wheel. It's been a wild night. Insane night.
Working essentially with the
right there. That's how you get on the wheel. Bam.
To give him a
Couchger and Casper, you are now on the wheel. You now have Casper, just for being here tonight. You now have an opportunity to win a fucking shirt. And here's the thing: we may not fill this wheel all the way out. I don't want to put pressure on chat or anything at all, none at all. But if we don't, well, here's the cool thing about it: if we don't fill this out here tonight, you got to come to the Thursday show that starts at 9 p.m. Eastern Time because that's when the will commence, possibly. If we don't fill it here tonight, I'm just saying. Casper, welcome to the will, and thank you so much. Again, Couchger, who just won a shirt. I mean, again, we have the nicest fucking people here. It's insane. Pammy coming through here right now with a $1.99. Bumblebee needs a spot, and just coming through the door, coming in to hang out for a minute here. Huh? What are you doing? Bumblebee getting on the wheel. Bumblebee now has a possibility from just getting on the wheel because somebody was nice to him. I love it. I love it. It's right there. Yeah, Kaylin just won a shirt, just received her shirt as well. And that was the Unsolved Mysteries Played shirt. We have a lot of cool shirts, I'm just saying. And I've got some Halloween merchandise coming out too. So I'm always trying to keep it fresh, trying to keep the wheel fresh. I've actually got 2 other cool ideas as well to kind of go along with the wheel to kind of make it a little bit more fun and enticing.
For him to collect.
Keep an eye out for that. Thinking maybe a Feral Friday thing for that though.
And then how those items will be properly.
Damn right, that's a shirt.
Mr. Kyle, what time did you get to 1700 Grandview?
At approximately 6 o'clock in the evening on February 3rd, 2003.
Specifically, and I'm going to narrow my questioning a little bit here, specifically, were you tasked with the responsibility of the documentation and collection of certain items of evidence once at the crime scene?
Yes.
All right, I want to focus your attention on certain item numbers. These are not... These are the numbers that the Sheriff's Department or the Sheriff's Crime Lab worked in conjunction with the Sheriff's investigative team to document the evidence. In other words, the item numbers that I'm talking about are not items that have been marked here in court. They're the items that the Sheriff's Department gave them, okay? We're on the same page about that, right?
Yes.
Okay. Specifically, were you asked to review and document and collect tooth material from the floor in front of the victim, Lana Clarkson, close to the stairwell wall, if you will?
Boom.
Yes.
All right.
Done.
Take a
Thank
look
you so
at
much, Taryn.
Tab 56, Susan.
Boom.
What's been previously marked?
I'm going to start working on
This has
that.
not been previously marked. Your Honor,
My favorite holiday. It's my favorite holiday. Oh my God! Also coming through this thing's picking up again already. But yeah, Halloween merch for sure. That is my favorite holiday. So expect a few cool things. Last year we did an all-night movie marathon, which was pretty cool. The first one of its kind here on Kick. So yeah, keep an eye out for some cool things coming through the old Halloween holiday. But yeah, Taryn Dusty, I just got this. Thank you so much. While we're paused, I'll go ahead and shout that out one more time. Brooklyn on the wheel. Brooklyn always coming through. Been modding for me for a long fucking time. Absolutely amazing. Brooklyn rules. And right here, Wildside coming through the old Cash App with a 420. Huh? Know what's up. Please put Tracy K on the wheel. You got it. Bada bing, bada boom. Tracy K on the wheel. Thanks to the kindness, again, of Wildside. Thank you so much for that 420 through the Cash App. Boom. What a crazy... Excuse me, I'm losing my voice. You guys got me losing my voice. Woo, we're going in tonight.
I have this document
Tuesday.
marked, this is an 8.5 by 11 document.
I know,
bearing
I'm
6
dizzy.
photographs A through F. as in
Instantly.
front. As people's next in order, I think it's 91.
It is 91.
Thank you.
Okay.
Do you recognize what's depicted in photographs A through F on People's 91?
Yes, I do.
Starting with the photograph A, how do you recognize that photograph and what is it that we're looking at?
This is a photograph depicting the decedent, and she is slumped in a chair in the South Hall foyer area. This is immediately inside the entrance that I went into the residence. The chair would be on the east side of the foyer.
All right. I'm going to enlarge that photograph A. It's a little bit difficult to see, but I want to draw your attention to an item that appears to be small and white in color on the abdomen, and I believe Sudi is highlighting that item right now. It's a little bit blurry. Sudi, if we could go back to the larger photograph. Do you see that white item?
Yes.
All right. Do you recall seeing that white item at the scene?
Yes.
Was that collected by you or another member of the crime lab or the coroner's office, or do you know?
I did not collect that particular item. I'm not familiar with who might have.
Working tonight,
But you
baby.
did see that item on
Love
her
it.
torso,
This
if
is
you will,
awesome.
in her lap while you were at the crime scene, correct?
I do recall seeing that, yes.
All right. Do you know what item number that was eventually booked as?
No, I don't.
Okay. Because you didn't personally do it?
No.
Or you're not involved with it?
That's correct, no.
Do you have any personal knowledge, Mr. Kyle, as you sit here, whether or not that was in fact a piece of tooth material?
Objection. Let's see, he said it wasn't familiar with that.
He asked if he had any knowledge. He can answer yes or no. If he answers no, that ends it. If he answers yes, we'll go into it further. Overruled, you may answer.
No, I didn't examine it closely. I'm not sure what that item was.
All right. Let's go back to the full frame photographs, please.
Death
Once
glare.
again, moving back to People's 91.
Got the pinstripes
take a look
back
at
on.
Photograph B as in boy, and tell us what it is that we're looking at in that photograph.
Well, we're looking at the door of the south foyer, which is open on the left side of the photograph, and we're seeing 2 evidence placards, evidence item number 4 and evidence item number 5.
Were those item
I love that Michelle knows how to make an entrance. She's just like ready to rock and roll. Let's go, baby. She knows how to definitely hang out with Publicly Buzzed. I
placards
love it.
placed by you or some other member of the sheriff's department?
Awesome.
No, those were placed down by someone else.
It's kind of hard to see because that's a small photograph for us, but does photograph B in People's 91 indicate placard number 4 closest to the door and placard number 5 basically dead center in the photograph?
Yes.
All right. Do you see a highlight of photograph B, I'm sorry, of placard 5 in photograph C as in Charlie?
Yes.
Do you recognize that placard?
Yes.
Okay. Does that appear to be an accurate photograph, albeit a little bit dark, an accurate photograph of the items that placard number 5 was meant to highlight?
Yes.
Were you tasked with the responsibility of collecting item 5 or items that were ultimately going to be designated as item 5?
Yes.
Was it one item or several pieces of physical evidence?
No, there were several pieces.
Describe that for the court, for the jurors, please.
Yes, item 5 appeared to be several pieces of what resembled tooth material, possibly cosmetic tooth material, and pieces of wood debris that were in that general area. There were several pieces. I didn't count exactly how many.
All right. Taking a look at photograph D as in dog, do you see 2 placards that are highlighted or circled on that photograph?
Yes, I do.
Sudi, if you don't mind, can we take a closer look at that photograph? I'm going to ask you to take a little bit larger look at that photograph, an enhanced look at that photograph. Is that the same photograph?
Enhance.
Yes.
Okay. Does it look like there are either placards or pieces of paper designating 2 items of potential evidence on the stairway?
Yes.
All right. And the first one where the arrow is right now is sort of toward the middle of the stairway. Is that right?
Yes.
And the white item or the white page that's folded in half appears to be toward the top of the stairway, correct?
Yes,
Did you take a close look at those items?
I did.
And were they ultimately designated in item number?
Yes, the item that was more on the middle of the stairs was given item number 10, and the item that was farther up the stairs was given item number 11.
Let's go back to the full exhibit. Yeah, 91. Oh, it's up there. All right, photograph E is in Edward. Does that appear to be a closer view of item number 10, which was midway up the stairs?
Yes,
And is the placard number 10 designating the small white object to the left of it?
yes, it is.
And item number 11, I assume your answer would be the same thing, that that's further up the stairs, yes?
Correct.
And the placard is designating the item to the left of it as well.
That's right.
All right. Did you, in fact, collect all of the items that are designated in B, C, D, E, and F, those photographs?
Yes.
And you did not collect the item in photograph A, correct?
No, I did not.
Okay. May I have just a moment, Your Honor?
Yes.
Let's go to item 5. Mr. Kyle, describe how you collected those. Well, let's start with item number 5.
You're doing me crazy
The
tonight.
material on the floor down in the foyer area. How did you collect those items?
Well, I basically got on my hands and knees and used a pair of forceps and a glass test tube vial, and while wearing gloves, picked up the items, placed them into the test tube vial, and sealed it with a cork. And that's the same for items 5, 10, and 11, which were all collected in that manner.
Your Honor, I'd like to have marked as People's Next in Order 92, an 8.5 by 11 document that bears 3 photographs, including photograph A, B, and C, that appears to highlight item number 5.
So marked.
Mr. Kyle, I want you to take a look at, first of all, let's start with C and work backward. Do you recognize that photograph as being an accurate depiction of approximately where you recovered the items that you placed in the vial that you just described?
Yes.
Do you see photograph B as in boy?
Yes.
What is that a picture of?
That picture appears to be the contents of item number 5, the pieces that were collected from that area.
Does that include white material as well as some what appear to be wood chips or wood splinters?
Yes.
Now, did you analyze the white material yourself, or did you
All right,
just
guys. I'm going to
collect
use the
it and put it
bathroom
into
real
evidence?
quick. I'll be right
No,
back.
my examination was limited to just a cursory observation at the crime scene. I then packaged it, and it was taken to the laboratory for further analysis at a later time.
Okay, so yours might be called field observations, correct?
Correct.
As opposed to a deeper, more intensive criminalistic type of analysis, correct?
That's right, just with the naked eye, no microscope, stereo microscope, just to get an idea of what that item was.
All right, and was that test tube ultimately placed in a manila envelope?
Yes.
And that was designated with the proper DR number
Yes, the sheriff's file number.
and the item number as well, item 5, correct?
Yes.
Take a look at photograph A. Does that reasonably depict the manila envelope as well as the vial with the number 5 on the vial just above the envelope?
Yes.
And there's it appears to be some kind of a ruler, a blue ruler above it. Is that correct?
Yes.
All right. And there's an item sitting on the ruler. Is that right?
Yes.
All right. Let's go to previously Exhibit 54, I believe. Let's see what 54 is. That's been previously marked, correct? Okay. Your Honor, if with the court's permission, I'd like to place on the overhead what's been previously marked as Exhibit 54, People's 54. And that is labeled Teeth Fragments, Item 10. Mr. Kyle, do you recognize the photograph C? And again, we're going to work a little bit backwards here. C is in Charlie?
Yes.
That circle indicates what you collected as item number 10, correct?
Yes.
Looking at photograph B as in boy, is that a photograph of the vial marked number 10 and the evidence envelope attendant to that vial?
Yes.
You place the vial with the contents into the envelope and book that in evidence as well.
Yes.
And that bears the same DR number.
Yes.
And that's consistent with how you did item 5, correct?
Correct.
And that, along with item 5, was later submitted for later analysis by Dr. Harold and others at the crime lab. Is that right?
Yes.
Taking a look at photograph A, that's simply another photograph of the same item, the evidence envelope and the attendant vial. Is that right?
Yes.
All right. Let's move to item 11. I'm going to ask you to do the same thing, and let's walk through these a little bit more quickly with item 11. Your Honor, this is yet to be marked. I'd ask that this document be marked as People's Next in Order 93.
93.
And this also bears 3 photographs, photograph A, photograph B, and photograph C, and it appears to highlight, as we've been referencing, item 11. Mr. Kyle, do you recognize the photograph on the right?
I do.
And once again, is that circle highlighting the place where you recovered the item that you've designated as a number 11?
Yes.
Taking a look at photographs A and B, is that are those photographs of the evidence envelope and the attendant evidence vial that you placed item 11 in?
Yes, in fact, I do recognize my writing as well.
Okay. And your writing appears where? On the envelope or the vial?
Both.
Okay. You submitted that envelope and the vial to the crime lab for later analysis as well. Is that correct?
Yes.
And again, I assume that you, from your previous answer, that you did not engage in any more than a field observation of these items, their collection, the documentation, and then the submission at the crime lab for later analysis, correct?
That's correct. I did not.
All right. And I want to move upstairs, if you will, with me. Do you remember collecting an item of evidence designated as number 19?
Yes, I do.
Can you describe for the jurors what item number 19 was?
Yes. Item 19 is what I would describe as an off-white or champagne-colored sport coat that was kind of crumpled in a mass on the floor of what I would describe as a TV or dressing room that was near the top of the stairs, near where the decedent was located.
Take a look at what's been previously marked as People's 88 for identification. Tell me, Mr. Kyle, let's move from photograph A to the right. In photograph A, what do you see?
Well, this would be the view looking into the room that I described as the TV or dressing room.
Do you see the item that was later designated as item number 19 in that field of view?
Yes, I do. It's on the right-hand side, about in the middle of the photograph, and it's near the front right corner of the reclining chair that can also be seen in the photograph.
Mr. Kyle, close to your right hand by those microphones is a small laser pointer. I think the top middle button may give you an idea. Show the jurors exactly where in photograph A, item number 19, that cream color white jacket is.
Okay, it's right here as I'm indicating with the laser.
May the record reflect the easiest way to identify that, I think, for the record, Your Honor, is to indicate the recliner chair and the white crumpled material that's just to the right of the recliner chair in photograph A.
Thank you.
The photograph B to the right, does that also depict where that jacket is?
Yes, it does, and if I can indicate with the pointer, it's approximately in the middle of the photograph and near the bottom.
I'm sorry to interrupt you. And the witness has indicated just above the letter B, there appears to be a white crumpled material in the floor. And taking a look at photograph C.
Yo, thanks for everyone hanging. No, it's heading out right now.
In People's 88 for
He's
identification.
coming back here trying to catch
Is that
up.
a close-up of that jacket?
Yes, it is, as well as some sandals or slippers that were nearby.
All right. Was the jacket collected by you?
Yes, it was.
How did you collect that jacket?
Well, I utilized latex gloves. I picked the jacket up, and I placed it into like a grocery-sized paper bag.
Was the bag sealed?
That'd be a
Not
cold
at the time
water,
I picked
though.
It up. It was not sealed
what I got.
for some time later.
Is there a reason why it wasn't sealed immediately?
Well, not tape sealed. It was folded over. The top was folded over, but normally when I collect evidence items, they're not sealed until they are prepared for submission to the evidence control section.
Okay, so the bag was not left open, correct?
That's correct. It would be folded over.
Nice and cold. Woo!
But not tape sealed or
Refreshing.
stapled or anything.
All right, and is the reason that you would fold the bag over is to prevent any inadvertent contamination and things of that nature?
Yes.
Is collection of items of clothing like this at crime scenes, and I think you've
Miss
been
anything
to
today?
dozens, if not hundreds of crime scenes, correct?
Yes.
Is the collection of items of clothing at crime scenes properly done or normally done in the standard operating procedure to use paper bags,
Yes, that's correct.
which is a larger type of.
Oh shit! Dizzy getting another spot thanks to Pam coming through the Cash App with $5. She says, "Me thinks Wizard is I can't even say Wizard Dizzy." The wizard that is Dizzy needs another spot. And yes, she does. I totally agree, Pammy. Thank you so much for another $5 holla through the Cash App. Good luck, Dizzy. Boom.
Spindle than the small manila envelope that we've talked about before, correct?
Yes.
All right, and
Halfway
those are
through a
specifically
wheel 4.
designed
That's
for the
insane.
collection of items of clothing and larger items
fuck?
like that, correct?
I don't even know what to say, guys.
Yes, essentially large, heavy-duty grocery-style bags.
More
Was there
shares
a
coming through
reason
the
why
old
you
X
collected that white
machine.
jacket?
Yes.
Why?
Well, during my examination of that room, I observed blood stains on the item, and that stood out as a potential evidence. Got the next item in line.
a weird glitch.
And assigned it item number 19 for collection.
Is it safe to say that you did not, in fact, engage in anything more than a field observation of this particular jacket, but because of your field observation, you collected it, booked it, and it was later submitted to others at the crime lab for a more intensive analysis? Is that safe to say?
Yes, essentially, I observed the item. I did not perform a detailed examination. I examined it enough to determine that there were blood stains on the item, and then collected it for later examination.
Thank you. May I have just a moment, Your Honor?
Yes.
Your Honor, that's all I have for this witness. Thank you.
Thank you. Cross-examination.
Good afternoon, Mr. Kyle. How are you?
Good, thank you.
Good. We haven't met. I've seen you in the hallway. My name is Linda Kenny Bod, and I'm one of the attorneys representing Philip Spector. Okay?
Nice to meet you.
Boden's up here.
You did a report.
You know it's getting serious.
Did notes or field notes on this matter, correct?
I did take field notes. I did not personally write the report.
Okay. But you took your field notes, and field notes are handwritten notes that you take at or about the time that you're at a location?
Yes.
Okay.
Here we go. Shiraz coming through. Thinking about that. Hell yeah. For Dizzy plus postage. Yeah, Dizzy get another spot, and yeah, I know. I think Dizzy is that an Ireland one? If I'm not mistaken. Thank you so much, Shiraz. Appreciate that. That's fucking awesome. Boom. Got you.
And you put important things in those field notes for the investigation, things that you feel are important, correct?
Yes, relevant observations, general descriptions.
Yeah, Shiraz is
And
insane.
Mr. Jackson
y'all.
asked you about when you arrived on the scene, and that was about 6 o'clock?
Yes.
And then you departed the scene at 2017, would that be correct?
No, I think it was later than that, 22.
2217, maybe your writing may be as good as mine is, okay?
Mother said I should be a doctor, yes.
Okay, 2217, and that would indicate when you left, correct?
Yes.
Now, the first line in your field notes, do you have them with you, sir?
I have a copy of my notes,
Could you
yes.
pull them out, please?
Yes.
Death stare. Keep it natural. Be chill. Keep it cool. Cool, calm, and collected, Phil. Oh, perfect. Now
I
you're
have
nailing
two
it.
pages of my notes labeled page number 1 and page number 2.
That's what I have, okay, so we're on the same page. Because I'm having a little trouble reading and writing, let me see if I could read the first line in your notes, and you tell me whether it's right or wrong. Request, REQ, request,
Yes.
what's that stand? Made by Steve R., Steve Renteria,
Yes.
to assist in crime scene investigation involving a high-profile person. Or is that the first line in your notes?
Yes, it is.
Now, did it make any difference to you as a trained trace evidence person?
I don't think he does blink.
About whether to collect something based on the fact that they're high profile or not?
No, it doesn't.
Okay. Why did you put in the first line of your notes that this was an investigation involving a high profile person?
It's just a circumstance of the case that I made a general observation. It doesn't affect my collection of the evidence.
Well, did anyone tell you that Philip Spector was a high-profile person?
I have heard the name before, but I don't recall anybody
Could
explaining
get
who he was
spicy,
exactly.
guys.
So is that
Spice
some
alert.
conclusion you drew, or did Mr. Renteria tell you that when he asked you to come?
Fucking guy,
I don't recall.
Okay. In any event, that is the first line in the notes that you made on the collection of evidence, correct?
Yes.
Okay. Now, you indicated to me that it was, or indicated to Mr. Jackson that your job is to collect evidence and correctly document it, correct?
Yes.
And that's because you want to correctly document it and collect it so that we know that by the time the jury is hearing about the evidence, what they're hearing about is the same thing you collected, right?
Yes, chain of custody, essentially.
Chain of custody is a fancy lawyer term. And also, you want to make sure it's collected properly, and you want to document that proper collection, correct?
Excuse
And
me.
you want to indicate what the items are, correct?
Yes,
And you want to preserve them for the state to do testing, correct?
correct.
And as a trained criminalist, a trained crime scene investigator, someone who's been in court before, you also know it's important for the defense to have access to certain items to test it, correct?
Yes,
And you want to make sure that what you collect is the same throughout, correct?
yes, that the item I describe in my notes and collect is the item that's later examined and that somebody may later write a report regarding.
Okay. Could I troubleshoot you if we could have People's 92?
You joked me, dude.
Would that be possible? I'm trying to avoid going to ZZZZZ, Your Honor, or whatever it is.
Oh, God.
92, I believe it is.
Choked on the smoke.
People's 92 is the documentation pictorially of the evidence collection of the particles that are in number 5, correct?
Yes,
And in fact, in number 5, at the scene you documented that
Whoa, Tiff Docs working on that fourth will also through the Cash App right now. Sending out a $5. Thank you so much, Tiff. Appreciate that.
2 pieces of
Get you on that
hard
wheel.
white material,
Get you on that wheel,
possibly
baby.
material, was collected within that number 5, right?
no, that's not correct.
You did not.
No,
Did you ever tell Detective Lilienfield that only 2 pieces of
What a
hard white
night.
material were collected?
no,
Did you collect wood fragments?
yes.
How many wood fragments?
I did not count them.
Okay. As you sit here today, from your notes, can you tell how many wood fragments were collected?
No, I didn't count them at the scene.
Do you have notes yourself to tell you how many pieces of hard white material you collected?
No, I did not examine them closely at the scene.
Okay. If I showed you a report from Detective Lilienfield, do you think that could refresh your recollection?
Objection, Your Honor. That's improper impeachment. He didn't say
I'm not trying to impeach him. I'm trying to say.
He didn't say he didn't remember.
Sustain, you may lay the
Do
foundation.
you remember how many pieces of hard white material you collected in number 5?
No, I did not count them.
Okay. May I approach to show the
Would
report?
looking at this document possibly refresh your recollection?
I don't believe I'm missing any recollection. I know I didn't count them, so.
Okay,
You-
so he's not
okay.
going to recall how many he recovered, and then you may not approach for that purpose.
Okay. All right. Now, is it fair to say that in here, there are 3 pieces of tooth material, or 3 pieces of white material, possibly tooth material?
That's what it appears in the photograph to be. It's number B.
Okay, number B of 92?
Letter
Okay.
B, yes.
All right. Now, who would have documented what went into test tube number 5 if it wasn't you?
Who would have or who should have?
Well, who should have?
Well, it would be the person who's performing the examination of that, somebody assigned to the physical evidence section.
So what you're saying then is if you collect
Got
material
about
at
20
the
minutes
scene,
left
you
here,
don't
folks,
count
and
how
another
many
will.
pieces you're collecting?
No, at that time, I don't have access to laboratory environment, stereo microscope, magnified vision.
Love you,
So no, it would be
Joanne.
collected and
Absolutely
preserved at the
incredible.
scene And then properly documented later at the laboratory.
My question to you is when you collect an item at scene, is what you're telling me that it's not within your protocol to count how many items you're collecting? Is that what you're saying?
Not in the instance for that particular evidence item, not to count the individual pieces, no.
When you say not in the instance of that particular evidence item, is it within your protocol to count other evidence items that you collect?
Well, no, I don't know that it necessarily is. For instance, if it's a jacket, it wouldn't be unusual to describe it as one jacket, or if it's two jackets. But these are very small items.
Well, where is your description of what you collected at the scene?
I can review my notes.
Please.
Get in them notes.
Okay, on page 2 of my notes.
Bumblebee started following me.
Approximately-
Following Bumblebee back. Also, Carissa started following me. I followed you back as well, Carissa.
3/4 or more down, there's a sentence that begins, I collected knob as number 4, wood pieces and tooth pieces as number 5, and tooth pieces as 10 and 11 from the stairway north of the victim.
So what you're saying is you did not document how many pieces you collected.
Correct.
Okay. Now, when you put that into this little manila envelope here, is there a way to highlight that at all from your exhibit, Sudie? Is there a way to highlight or get that a little bit bigger from your exhibits, or you can't do it on yours?
Oh, Debbie.
It'll take a
Get
little
in
time.
here.
Okay. Well, we'll record ourselves.
It's been a
Thank you.
damn good church
When you
service
put it
here
into
tonight.
the envelope, what is your normal protocol?
Excuse
for
me,
what
crazy
you write on
even.
the outside of the envelope?
Well, the minimum would be the item number. I, as a general purpose or practice for myself, include a description of what's in there, and that's placed into a larger outer container when it's submitted to the evidence control section.
Okay. Was anyone else with you when you were collecting these items?
There was nobody else directly with me. There were other personnel at the scene, Mr. Renneria,
Okay.
but not anybody observing or directly assisting me in the collection of those items.
And you put these items in a test tube because you don't want anything to happen to them. You want them to be secure, correct?
Right, a test tube.
Oh, thank you so much. I love that.
Will protect it from perhaps damaging the outside of the envelope or
It helps so much,
damaging
seriously.
items within it.
And so it's fair
Spreading
to
the
say
word.
that what you put into that test tube at the scene should be what comes out of that test tube when it's examined at the crime lab. Isn't that fair to say?
Yes.
Do you know whether what you put in at the scene was what came out at the crime lab?
Well, that depends on the condition of the evidence when it was examined by the laboratory personnel that examined it.
Okay, so after you put it in, you don't have any follow-up on that, correct?
That's right.
But in the best of all possible worlds, the amount of items you put on the envelope should be the amount of items at the other end of the crime lab, correct?
Yes.
And that's the point of proper collection of evidence, that you don't put in too little or too many, you put in what's there, and then hopefully it ends up in the same condition when it gets to the crime lab, correct?
That it's packaged and preserved for later analysis, yes.
Do you know how many items of tooth material were at the crime lab when they looked at it?
No, I didn't perform any laboratory examination.
And since you don't know how many items that you put in, you have no way of documenting which is what you put in is what came out, correct?
No, only in the sense that it's placed in the container by me and then sealed for submission, and then the person that gets it needs to notate the condition of that item when they receive it.
Now, item number 10 that you talked about was one piece or two pieces?
Item number 10 was one piece.
How do you remember item number 10 was one piece when you can't tell us from your notes what item number 5 was?
Objection, that's argument.
Yeah, what? Just trying to find him.
Why is it that you can tell how many pieces item number 10 is?
Well, for the description in my notes, I described those as tooth pieces 10 and 11.
Ask it nicer.
Not teeth pieces.
You drive us, excuse me?
I describe it in the singular, tooth pieces 10 and 11, as opposed to teeth, as well as my recollection of those items.
Well, excuse me, could you refer to, you're saying that if you put teeth pieces, it means it's multiple, and if you put tooth pieces, it means it's singular?
Well, I described tooth pieces as one way, and then another would be just my recollection of those items at the scene.
Well, what I'm asking you is, are you saying in your notes, when you put multiple pieces in, you put teeth pieces, and when it's one piece, you put a tooth piece?
No, not necessarily, no.
All right, so in this situation, you described items number 5 as tooth pieces, correct?
Yes,
And you described item number 10 and 11 as tooth pieces, correct?
yes.
And you have no way from your
Before you head out, the show's almost over. Jen, I'm going to do the will. Let me get this will over here. We've managed to rack up 3 wheels tonight, and that is a large part because Jersey Gin fucking rules. So yeah, let me get a wheel going real quick. And we're working on a 4th wheel, which is crazy. So yeah, let me get that going over here. And yeah, and after this, I'm going to be sending you over to Bob, Defense Diaries. He's got a stream every Tuesday about this time, about 10 o'clock, actually, right after Murder Church on Tuesday. It's about perfect. He does a live stream, so I'll be sending you guys over there. Yeah, give me 1 second. Give me 1 second here. Good luck, everyone. Good luck, everyone. 3 shirts. Genie. That's a Genie if I ever saw it. Getting a shirt right now. 3rd shirt of the evening. Genie, ladies and gentlemen. Congratulations. Let me get you in the winner circle. Real quick, like. Boom, 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 boom. 3 winners tonight. That's incredible. Genie. Bada bing, bada boom. Simi, Couchger, Cheney, all picking up wins here tonight. Absolutely incredible. Cheney, get at me, publiclybuzzed@gmail.com or on X in the messages. You can send me a message. Pick out a shirt, give me a size, where to send it. You know the drill. We know the drill by now, my guys, my ladies, my people. The Buzz Nation, if you will. That's what we're doing.
Well, let me tell you something, brother.
What? Oh, extra bells done popped through. Done popped through on us here. Woo! Crazy, crazy. Y'all are nuts. Done popped the hell off. 3 winners here tonight? You kidding me? Absolutely incredible. Absolutely incredible. Casper, welcome in here. Hopefully you come back. We guys are already following each other on Twitter, I believe, as well. So, hell yeah. Hello, sentiment folks over here. Thank you so much if you're still hanging out here. All the way and deep in the future as well as Hella. Always has cool content, something a little different. Something for everybody, quite frankly. Her and Dolly always doing streams. Great people. Yeah, man, we have a great fucking community growing here, and I'm really proud of it. And hopefully people continue to come and support us and keep doing the damn thing. We're not done yet, though. We're going to go about another 10 minutes. About 10 o'clock, I'm going to shut this thing down. We're at the 35-minute mark of a 124 video, and we'll pick this back up Sunday morning, 9 a.m. Eastern Time. Murder Church continues. But before that, Thursday night, we have a show, me and my brother, 9 p.m. here. We're going to be doing something. It's usually true crime related. And then Friday night, we have a really good time, 9 p.m. Eastern Time. If you're not familiar, we do a show called Feral Friday, and we basically unwind every Friday night. And sometimes it's true crime related, and sometimes it's not. This last Friday over on Kick, we watched Cops Too Hot for TV, Part 2, and it was fucking chaos. So we have a good time. And I plugged it earlier. I'm going to plug it again. Exclusively, only on the Patreon right now, you can catch something I'm calling Dirty Lou. It is Chris Dewitt came through a couple of weeks ago on Kick. It's now exclusive on Patreon. It's been deleted from Kick. But we did a stream. Anybody that's seen Dirty Pop on Netflix, it's about that motherfucker that was the manager of NSYNC, of the Backstreet Boys. Well, he made a movie, and yeah, he's a grimy son of a bitch, and Chris Dewitt has the details. You're going to want to check that out on the Patreon. Thumping Thursdays. There you go. I've always struggled with names. I always used to struggle with the Tuesday name until I said, fuck it, we're going Murder Church. And it really happened because this trial is absolutely incredible. It's so long. It's a very long. And I was like, man, we need another day. We need another freaking day. And we got them. We got them. We love you, Kaylin. Love you, Kaylin. Let's keep rocking and rolling, though. Yeah, Casper, love it. That's what I'm talking about. Try to make it as positive as possible. Let's keep rolling, though. A little bit longer. Just a little bit longer.
Notes of telling from your notes how many pieces actually went into items 5, 10, and 11, do you?
Incredible night.
For item 5, I didn't count, so I can't tell you how many. Item 10 and 11 were one piece of 2
They
feet.
did.
Is that because you remember it?
Welcome back,
Because
Drew.
I remember it, yes.
Okay, but you do not remember item number 5?
I did not count the item. I just recall that there were pieces of tooth or tooth material in that item.
Did you ever tell anyone that item number 5 contained only 2 pieces of hard white material?
No.
Did you ever tell anyone that item number 5 contained pieces of fingernail?
No.
Have you had conversations with Detective Fournier about item number 5 or 10?
No, I don't recall having any, no.
Did you have any conversations with Detective Lilyfield about items number 5 or 10?
Maybe cursory conversations at the location, but
Night, Jen.
not
Thank you,
subsequent to that,
seriously.
no.
Did anyone from the laboratory come to you and ask you how many pieces were in item number 5 when you took them from the scene?
No.
The crime lab. Did anyone from the detectives ever come and ask you how many pieces were in item number 5 when you took it from the scene?
No.
Did anyone from the sheriff's department come and ask you how many pieces were in item number 5 when you took it from the scene?
No.
Okay. Are these your pictures, by the way?
No, they're not.
Okay. And here, could Jennifer, do we have one of ours showing item number 5, perchance? We could blow it up. Well, she's looking. Oh, she's got it. Okay. Can you blow that up a little bit? This is previously marked, or is this not been marked? This is RRRR, and that's for R markings, Mr. Kyle, okay? Is there any way from any of the documentation on the scene that you could tell us today in 2007 how many pieces of white particulate material actually went into that test tube on February 3rd, 2003?
Well, I didn't count them, and I don't know that that photograph is detailed enough to count the items individually, so I don't know that the number can be ascertained from that photograph.
Have you ever seen any photograph taken that would help you determine how many items went into item number 5?
Well, the photograph that I saw previously seemed to show the contents of that item.
Okay. That's Sudi's item, then item number 92. Okay. Over here.
Oh, well, the closer photo that shows the pieces laid out with the scale. The
Over
photograph
here?
B.
Are you absolutely certain that you put 3 pieces of white particle material into that test tube?
Well, I'm certain that that resembles the items that I collected. I can't tell you exactly how many pieces were individually in that test tube.
Okay. Did you direct the picture at the scene to be taken?
I don't recall if I directed that specifically. It was taken by personnel at the scene.
Okay. All right. So when you were collecting the evidence at the scene and documenting the evidence at the scene, was there any other evidence that you collected that you didn't count how many items went into the test tube or a bag or whatever it was?
No, I believe all the other items that I collected were larger. They weren't small items of trace material.
So is the answer no?
I don't recall if I put any number. I have a description of the item, which answers the question for all the items that I collected.
Okay. Now, you did, am I correct that you went around the house and looked for evidence, or was your testimony that the detectives told you where to go and you went?
No, on my own initiative, I searched the location, several different rooms, for any items that I felt were of evidence value.
All right, when you say you searched several different rooms, what rooms did you search?
Well, there were many rooms at the location. I went into as many as I could locate.
And how many was that?
Oh, gosh, I don't recall offhand.
Do you have that in your notes?
No.
Do you have a description of the rooms you searched in your notes?
Only the rooms that I conducted more detailed examinations of.
And those would be what rooms?
The what I describe as the TV or dressing room, as well as what I described as the master bedroom and the foyer area.
Okay. And when those 3 rooms that you did the detailed looking of, you looked at everything in the rooms, correct?
Yes, I conducted an examination to see if I could determine if any items were of value.
Right? And in fact, you even looked at the trash contents of things in the room to see if anything of evidential value had been thrown out, correct?
That's right, yes.
Did you look in the bathrooms that surrounded the area?
I looked in the bathroom in the master bedroom, and I believe there's also a bathroom in the TV dressing room that I examined.
And you didn't find anything of evidential value, sir, in the master bedroom or the bathroom that you examined, correct?
I'm sorry, I didn't finish. I also searched the bathroom downstairs in the foyer area.
Well, let's start with the two upstairs. Those are the two upstairs you were talking about, the first two?
Yes.
Did you find anything of evidential value in those bathrooms?
No, I didn't see anything of value to me at those locations.
And you looked at the sinks, correct?
At the, I'm sorry, I didn't hear. The sinks?
The sinks in those bathrooms?
Yes, just as a general examination if I could determine if there was any blood present.
Looked at the shower or bathtubs if they had any present in those bathrooms, correct?
I don't recall searching the shower or bathtub in particular, no.
Well, if you had seen something that looked like blood entering a shower or bath, you would have looked at it, correct?
Objection. Calls for speculation.
No, I think that's a question that can be asked. If you'd seen what you believed to be blood in the shower, would you have examined it further?
Yes.
Why?
Well, if there was blood in another area of the residence, it may be significant to the investigation.
And in fact, in the areas of the residence that you examined on the second level, you did not find any blood in the residence except for the white jacket you were talking about, correct?
That's correct, yes.
Okay. And you didn't find upstairs anything in any of the trash cans you examined, correct?
That's right, yes.
You didn't feel the need to take the sinks out and have them further examined because they looked like they hadn't been used, correct?
No, there was no indication that there was anything of evidence value on or around the sinks of the bathrooms that I examined.
And in the second floor, you went through other portions, other bedrooms, correct?
Yes.
And you didn't find any blood in the other bedrooms, correct?
Correct.
And you went through, would be fair to say, a fairly detailed examination of the rooms so that you could see if you saw anything of evidentiary value, right?
That's correct, yes.
Okay. Now, you started talking about downstairs. There was a bathroom, correct?
Yes.
And would that be the powder room that was off the side of the stairway?
Yes.
Okay. And you saw some items in there, correct?
Yes, there were several items in that area.
And was Lana Clarkson still...
All right, I'm going to call it right there. 44 minutes. We will start back here Sunday morning, bright and early, 9 a.m. Eastern time. Wow, what a morning. What a morning. What a night. I'm all messed up here after everyone has been incredible. Yeah, I think I'm caught up. Yeah, I think everything's good. You're about to be sent over to Bob Botta's channel, to Fitz Diaries. He's going to be doing a stream tonight and starting right about now, actually. So yeah, when you get over there, let him know that you're being rated by the Buzz Nation, and I really appreciate it, guys. Thank you all so much for an incredible night. See you Thursday night, though. See you Thursday night. Yeah. Actually, I've thought about watching a Lana Clarkson movie for Feral Friday. I'm not sure if that's what we're talking about. I just saw you say that, but yes, night. Thanks everybody. If you're not going to Bob's, thank you all so much. Love you guys. Yeah, Thursday night, 9 p.m. Eastern time. I'll have Dan with me. We'll do something. We'll be doing, I don't know. Let me look in to see what's happening out there. True crime's insane. It's endless. So, all right. Love you guys. Have a great rest of your evening and a great Wednesday. Let's go.
Nothing to see here.